The Leontine was designed for rivers and canals, so after 8 hours of dodging supertankers in the world's busiest shipping lane, we made our landfall in Calais with great relief. They'd even sent out a welcoming committee. The French frontier police gave us the once-over and decided we were clean. I handed over those little blue books, otherwise known as the ship's papers. I hadn't expected to go down in the first lock, but then I realized the sea at high tide was higher than these marshes. We were locked into Europe in a system of waterways that crisscrossed the continent from the Atlantic to the Black Sea. Saint-Omer was a busy port in the old days. Today's barges are too big to come down this little canal, so they used this bypass instead. These were the battlegrounds between 1940 and 18, where millions died in the most terrible of wars. Canals played their part. Barges were used to bring troops to the front and to carry the wounded out. At Saint-Quentin, the Germans drained the canal and made their headquarters inside the tunnel. This photograph records its capture by the Allies. The great lock at Les Fontinettes made me feel like Jonah inside the whale. The lock gates were under repair, that's why the tractor had to pull them open for us. My plan was to get off this marine motorway as fast as possible and take the little river Lys north to Kortrijk over the Belgian border. Scarcely any traffic on this part of the river, and this lady doesn't often have to raise the bridge. The lockkeeper had told her we were coming, and we hardly had to slow down. This was the first really quiet mooring we'd had since our journey began. Incredibly still, and now incredibly peaceful. The river got busier as we neared the Belgian border.
Are you on this garage? No, on this one. On the Helga. How long to get to Bruges? How long to Bruges? Canals. And where is the Belgian customs? the second lock here.
Yeah.
Second.
Second.
Mainen. The
Mainen.
small one. The small one.
Well, you know what to do, my God. That's not
That's the artist.
That's not easy. This man we have with us, Ray, he's a English marinier.
Which one?
The one with the blue.
Oh, yeah.
He's a waterman.
In England there's very small ships, small one.
But a lot of things with remote and plenty of
Bootjes on Thames,
plenty of muddy, so it becomes very difficult. These barges are always squeaky clean inside. It's an iron law that you change your shoes when you come in. A custom which didn't extend, I'm afraid, to the more liberal regime on the Lier. So you call your barge after your wife. That's very romantic, isn't it? Very romantic. And what is your cargo?
Soya.
Beans.
Not beans. Pellets. Yeah, for the
Cows.
for the
Animals.
yes.
And how much time do you spend at home? Or this is your home?
It's my home.
Yes.
The other time go inside.
Yes.
It's my home.
Very nice.
And the children they are in school now.
School.
And this evening at 6 o'clock they are on board
Yes.
with the taxi.
Yes. Do they like their life? They like coming home.
I'm skipper in the 5th generation.
Yes. 5 generations.
From 1700.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm born on the ship in the war.
Yes.
44.
Really?
On board. Not on this ship.
No.
On the other one. My father.
That's very interesting. And what is your name?
Freddy.
Freddie.
And yours?
Richard. Your name? Good luck. Maybe we'll see you again. The River Lys runs into Flanders and the city of Bruges, the Venice of the North, where we found this particularly elegant mooring. A rare dispensation from the city fathers, I was allowed to row the dinghy through the gates and into the canals that run through the heart of the old town. Bruges was a great port in the Middle Ages until the river silted up. From a rich city, it became a poor one, which preserved it.
Just an odd word of English.
Oh my God, another Belgian who speaks perfect
I
English.
must confess my mum was English.
Oh, I see. Listen, can you tell me the best places to go to look at Bruges, which I've never seen before,
Oh.
by canal?
Oh, I can give you good information there. I'd say straight on, and as soon as you reach the Belfry, stop there a while. The area is wonderful. Like the Belfry, the huge steeple on the market square. It's really wonderful. You must see that first of all.
Aimé Lambert, the clarionneur. The bell tower is above him, so he can't hear the individual bells properly and has to feel the music through his hands.
got the canals, follow the canals up to the Church of Our Lady, which is an enormous brick steeple, a marvellous building really of the 13th century.
One of the few Michelangelos outside Italy, and a nice little urn for the church. Bruges is a city to visit early in the morning, before the coaches start rolling in.
Goedemorgen, meneer.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm looking for some handmade chocolates.
Yes, sir.
Do you
Yes, all those chocolates are handmade.
Are they really? Where do you do that?
In the back shop.
The temperature is the most difficult thing because that makes the difference if the chocolate is shiny or not. And it has to go to tenths of degrees, so it is very, very difficult. It's something you have to learn in very long time. So we started with an empty mold. We put it full of chocolate, like this. Make it completely filled up. And then in chocolate there is a lot of air, so we have to take this out. So for this, we put this on here, put the machine on, and then the air bubbles are coming out now. Then we empty the mold. Just scrape it off, and then we have something like the inside for chocolate. I'll show you next time.
We shall have to come back one day and get some more. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
The annual Ascension Day parade was a big feature in the Bruges tourist calendar. The Café of Lissinger in Bruges opened in 1515 and Wednesday has been cards night ever since.
Leontine, what a beautiful name.
Two boats, one's called Leontine and one's called Leontine. One pushes the other. I had an unusual tour of the Mechanical Organ Museum.
It's a wonderful piece of music, isn't it? Does it mean something?
Yes, it remembers I met my husband and dancing on this melody, this tune. It was in 1952 on the 6th of July. Yes, I remember it very well. We were on a party. There was an organ playing, Étoile de Neige. So we danced for the first time and then we started. It's now 33 years and we are very, very, very happy.
Do you think your husband would mind if we had a little
Oh,
turn?
no.
I'm afraid my waltzing will never pass in Vienna. left Bruges and headed for Kortrijk. Not much further on, we stopped to explore the ancient nunnery or béguinage, set up to receive the pious daughters of families too poor to afford the dowry demanded by regular nunneries. This nun, one of the only two Begins left here now, told me about her life. It took me a while to realize she was nearly blind.
Bien fait. Et cette photo, madame?
Cette photo, monsieur, c'est le jour de quand j'ai fait mes vœux. Et vous voyez aussi le tenue que nous devions avoir dans la chapelle. Un grand voile blanc au-dessus de notre voile tout petit blanc, le petit blanc. Et c'était tout raide. Et le but c'était de ça, on devait mettre ça tout devant soi presque, un tout petit peu qu'on voyait encore, mais pas beaucoup. Et c'était pour ne pas avoir de distraction, pour ne pas savoir regarder à côté, à gauche ou à droite. Alors ça me donnait toujours un plaisir. Moi je disais, comme jeune sœur, mais écoutez, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire là en dessous? Moi je disais. Alors on me répondait, mais bien prier, ne pas être distraite. Ah oui, c'était beaucoup plus sévère dans le temps. Hein? J'ai toujours aimé de faire quelque chose pour les autres.
C'est disponible.
Ah oui, quand je suis fatiguée le soir, et c'est souvent déjà aux environs de 5-6 heures, alors je commence à ma prière parce que je n'ai pas encore l'occasion, hein, toujours l'un et l'autre. Alors je commence à ma prière et souvent je suis déjà endormie pendant que je prie, que je suis vraiment fatiguée, mais aussi contente. Je suis heureuse, oui. J'ai une vie heureuse, malgré tout.
After meeting this selfless woman, I felt somewhat ashamed of feeling so hungry, but luckily it's the Belgian custom not to pass a chip shop without trying it out.
Kleine Sack Frieds.
They say these are the best chips in Belgium, in Kortrijk. Is that right?
Yes.
Good.
Dank u. 50 alstublieft. En 50 terug, dank u.
Thank you. Our detour was over. We were back on the great commercial waterways again. The Belgians are modernizing their canals, as the next lockkeeper explained.
They're going to put back in the water. The building in New York. You want to see it?
Could I? Is it all right to leave the boat here for a minute? You're not very busy. Unlike the British, who haven't built a new canal or done anything to improve the old ones for over a century, the Belgians are upgrading their network to carry the modern European standard barges. These old locks are far too small for them.
In a day, 10 years ago.
So, this big lock is for much bigger ships?
For much bigger ships. Ships to 1,300 tons.
Beyond the medieval water gates of Tournai, there isn't very much left of the old city, which seemed to get a pounding from just about everybody in World War II.
Oui, c'est Tournai. Vous voyez ici dans le fond la gare de Tournai, donc au bout de la rue Royale. Ceci, c'est la rue Royale, du moins ce qu'il en reste.
Et ça, c'est...
Oui, ici c'était avant le pont, ici le long de l'Escaut. Le coin ici c'est le café, hein, que vous voyez ici au coin. Et bien sûr, vous voyez le pont écroulé dans la rue Royale.
Et c'est détruit
En début de la guerre, hein, en 40.
Pas les Allemands, les Américains, les Anglais.
Les Anglais, les Allemands, oui, un peu tout le monde. Il y a eu 2 vagues, je pense, de bombardements. Et oui, les Anglais, c'est par erreur, je pense, et les Allemands, c'était très...
A sign said there was a diver down, so I stopped and went back to see what was going on. Mr. Van Dam is self-employed. His livelihood depends on the wickedness of others, and this is one of his most profitable reaches. He and his assistant drive along either side of the canal, trailing a wire hawser in the water between two trucks. When the line snags, Mr. Van Dam starts diving. This lonely spot is favoured by gangsters as a dump for their getaway vehicles, and it is Mr. Van Dam's task to recover the cars for the local police. After he had pulled out this BMW, he said there was still a top-of-the-range Toyota to be recovered.
He hasn't got the keys.
Mrs. Van Dam smiles sweetly on her husband when he comes home with a bucket of wriggling eels, which he generally picks out of the boots of these cars. Sadly, Mrs. Van Dam was going to be disappointed, even though, as the policeman said, the car had been underwater for 6 months.
Regarde au moins chez moi. Ouais, facilement. Ça, oui, facilement. Oui, 6 months. 6 à 8 mois. Après,